Starting a podcast is a great way to share ideas, especially for scientists and science communicators. It provides a platform through which you can reach diverse audiences and communicate complex topics in a relatable and engaging format. It can also help you, yourself, gain new knowledge and exercise your communication skills. It can ultimately benefit you as much as it does your audience. As scientists, we share ideas, present research, and explain complicated topics every single day. In fact, many of us mentor and inspire others at the same time. Podcasting is simply an extension of that activity. However, it can help you reach an audience far beyond your immediate lab, industry, or institution. It's a route to real-world impact that's perhaps more personal, accessible, and immediate than any other communication method. It's great for professional growth. In fact, lots of established communicators started out their careers with a science-focused podcast. Additionally, lots of funding bodies invest in researchers who demonstrate a commitment to communication, mentorship, and engagement. So whether you're interested in a media, communications, or research career, podcasting could help you get ahead. Here's Anne from the Root of the Science podcast, talking about the benefits of podcasting to her.
I think in my own personal experience, number one is the networks, the global networks that it has opened for me, meeting very diverse scientists and science podcasts. Again, it can depend on what your topic is, because mine is pretty broad, but I've had the privilege of really speaking to so many people who I'd have never known if I didn't ever start this podcast, number one, so the networks. And number two, because I'm doing this podcast while pursuing my studies, trying to finish off school, my PhD, and there was a point where it felt really, really difficult. And I think anyone who's done a postgraduate degree, you know how difficult it can get and how disheartening that the process can get. And speaking with some of my guests, I felt so validated, like the feelings, I wasn't crazy, like, okay, somebody has gone through this. Somebody, that's another thing where you also build some really wonderful, apart from just the professional, the social networks as well. I've made some wonderful friends who are now my friends because of the podcasting. And another one is just purely very confident, like in terms of speaking, because that's my whole role, is just to speak and public speaking. Having done this, I think with over 140 something episodes, I'm very confident when I come and speak, and because I do this is what I do. So it's really helped me in terms of just getting other soft skills that I wouldn't have gotten if I just stayed in the lane of being an academic, which is really, really helpful.
Not only are there benefits to you, there are also huge benefits to your field of science, such as open source knowledge sharing, the encouragement of public engagement and participation in research. In this 6-part series, we'll be delving into podcasting for life science communication. We'll cover topics such as content planning and collaborative engagement, inclusivity, accessibility, publicity, and promotion. We'll even suggest some useful tools that you can use on a budget. So let's get started. I know what you're probably thinking. Podcasting sounds great, but starting a podcast must be hard, expensive, and really complicated. Actually, it's not. That is, provided you prepare, plan ahead, and research your options effectively. Many scientists develop a podcast out of sheer passion for their field, often with little planning and little to no resources. While this is sustainable for some, it isn't for many. So, to help you get started, Welcome Connecting Science and the Your Digital Mentor podcast have created a great roadmap resource. It can help you navigate your way through idea development all the way to disseminating your own podcast series. Check out the description of this episode for a link to these free resources, including downloadable examples of podcast proposals and speaker invite templates. We've also included some resources to help you with budget planning your podcast. It's important to remember that there is almost as much diversity amongst podcasts as there is amongst listeners. Some podcasts focus on the dissemination of academic information, while others focus on community building, advice, or mentorship. Some podcasts are recorded with a discursive tone, while others are more presenter-led, like this one. Some podcasts also have accompanying video, while others feature audio only. If you're looking to start your very own podcast, these are the factors you'll need to consider. Who will your podcast be for, and what kind of tone or style will they expect to receive their information in? When deciding how you'd like to style your podcast, it could be useful to take inspiration from some of your existing favourites. Here's David from the Pop-Up PhD podcast, talking about how being a listener turned him into a producer.
For me, of course, I started a podcast because I was a listener of podcasts. And because the podcast is this very special medium, originally it's been created and it grew as an audio mainly medium, which means that something that people can spend more time with than a video. People will spend less time in front of a screen watching something that's longer than 10 minutes. They won't do that, but they will listen to a 30-minute audio piece while they're running, while they're doing chores, whatever.
So do you have a favourite science podcast? If so, what kind of style is it recorded in? What do you like about it? And is there anything that you think could be done differently? Why not share your thoughts with us on social media? Tag us and tag your favourite podcast series or podcast presenters. We'd love to hear who you're listening to. Thank you for listening to episode 1 of this podcast series. In the upcoming episodes, we'll delve into the various technical aspects of podcasting, including practical tips on technology, storytelling, and marketing your series. You'll hear from some well-known and emerging science podcasters for their advice on how to get started. You'll learn how to start developing a team, a content strategy, a podcast brand, and you'll also gain some insights into presenting, audio production, and interview technique. By the end of this series, you'll be equipped with the knowledge you need to begin producing your own podcast on a budget and in a way that resonates with a diverse and engaged audience. Here are a few words of encouragement from Desmond from the Global Health Unfiltered podcast.
There are so many podcasts out there and many of them are producing misinformation. If scientists create their own podcast, it could help with countering some of the misinformation and provide some more nuance to research publications that tend to be dense and not accessible to the public. I encourage, especially the scientists who are listening to maybe step out of the laboratories, step out of the academic journals and venture into this space because there's a lot of impact that could be had.
You've been listening to So You Want to Start a Science podcast, presented by me, Dr. Sophie Brusolek, produced by Sight and Cell Media and the Your Digital Mentor podcast for Wellcome Connecting Science. If you're interested to learn more about the Your Digital Mentor podcast, check the link in the description box for more information.